Josh Bumgardner with the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank our viewers that are tuning in to our candidate interview series 2019. We're interviewing for City Council in Tampa. At the Chamber, we focus on policy, not politics. While we do not endorse candidates, we feel it's important to get their views in front of our members and the business community at large. We're excited to have Charlie Miranda, who's running in City Council District 2 with us today. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Fine, everything's going very, very nice, thank you.
Good. So we are 5 weeks from Election Day. What's the message that you are trying to deliver to voters before they go to the polls?
Well, I think you have to look at experience, and any business or any operation you run, sometimes experience means an awful lot. And the way I'm looking at this election coming up, there's very little institutional knowledge left on the council. I'll be the longest serving member of the new ones coming in, and only one individual has 4 years and the other one have about 2 years. So I think the history of the city, along with the development and the role that the chamber plays and the City of Tampa government plays, is very important to the future of the city.
Great. When we talk about workforce housing, we're hearing that it's a crisis. It's certainly a need for more affordable, attainable housing in the City of Tampa. What zoning or policy changes do you see that could address this need?
Well, I think it has to be an effort of concerted effort in many areas, not only from the City of Tampa, but from the county, from the state, and from the federal. At one time, affordable housing was very readily available. In fact, my house payment when I first bought it was $69 a month. My electric bill is twice that. So affordable housing, when you look at it now, is going to take a concerted effort of private businesses, government, and anyone else who wants to help, because it has to happen. We cannot have individuals working for the wage that they're paying out, and minimum wage sometimes, and living in a house that's acceptable to the lifestyle that we want to create in the City of Tampa.
We'll talk about the budget. Some argue that the budget process is one of the biggest responsibilities of City Council and working with the mayor. We're looking at a potential downturn in the economy is what we're hearing from some economists. If that's the case, how would you manage the budget process in a downturn? Would you look at certain cuts? Would there be tax increases?
I can tell you that I've been through that with the 2 years, two administration back, Mayor Iorio. We had a difficult time. We lost about $268 million alone, and the ad valorem tax returned to the city in those 8 years that the downturn and the values of homes went down. So we had to do some things that normally would go on without happening. But since it went down, we had to cut like 700 jobs, and we managed to survive that. We did what any good business individuals would do. We turned the city into a workforce of 24 hours a day, and we completed our mission. We did certain things. I asked the administration to start looking into clinics. When I was a little boy, we had affordable clinics that were very good to us, and we started the 2 clinics in the City of Tampa, one in Himes and one in Brandon for retirees. That's saving the city $1 million a year in insurance premium costs for the last 12, 14 years. So we know what it is to be in a tight budget. We have not hired 700 people back, and every hiree that we have since then under the Mayor Buckhorn, who's done a very good job, he has to approve that individual.
Great. Permitting it's becoming more and more difficult to obtain a permit. While we agree that it should be a safe process, there certainly needs to be some efficiency for our businesses and residents in Tampa to move forward with their projects. Can you talk about, if reelected, how you would address some of these permitting difficulties?
The permitting is what you're speaking about. Going and get a permit. It has been a little struggle because we went from $1 billion to 2.7 billion last year. And with that amount of volume, and we haven't increased much in that division, certainly the workload is there more than what we anticipated. So that's what we have. But we have a growing economy, and we have to make some changes there.
Okay. Home rule. We're hearing from local governments across the state that are growing more and more frustrated with Tallahassee, and that there's a Tallahassee knows best mentality. Preemption is a concern. Do you agree that that's the case? And if so, how would you work with our state delegation for a stronger relationship?
We've always had a pretty good relationship. Unfortunate, our delegation doesn't handle the proper, they don't have the where to do to say, this is how I want it done. It's going to happen that way. We have to count on all the elected officials in the state of Florida. But by far, we have a good relationship with our delegation that I know of. I know Buckhorn has even a better relationship than I do. And whoever the mayor is going to be, that individual should take the lead with the delegation, because the mayor is a strong form-based mayor and one of the few governments that have a real strong mayor form of government. Saying that, I think that Tallahassee has set us back some, and the way that they cut their avenues, and they say now the cities can handle that. Well, the cities can't handle everything that the state used to do, and they put the burden on us without giving us any revenues to complete the job.
Okay. Economic development, public-private partnerships have become an asset for local governments across the country. What opportunities for P3s and public-private partnerships do you see in Tampa?
I see a good business for that. The private partnership, certainly when you look at the technology area, a lot of companies that move into Tampa, and what's bringing them back is, I believe, into Tampa, is that we have a very youth movement in Tampa where a lot of good kids that normally would go live in Tampa and move out are living in Tampa, going educated and coming back to live in Tampa. They want to live here. That gives them a higher standard of availability to work, and the technology companies are seeing that, and they come to Tampa because they have qualified employees that would work in those firms. The University of Tampa, South Florida, HEC, they're doing a fantastic job.
Transportation, obviously in November, the referendum passed when the chamber supported. We all have a list of projects we'd like to see, but what would be your first priority project that you would like to see out of the gates as it relates to transportation?
Well, my first priority would be with talking to individuals like the chamber and all others, stakeholders in the area, to come out with one consensus, not mine, not yours, but a consensus to make it work the first time. I certainly don't want to have anything that would be a black eye to any one of us and not go forward in the right way.
Okay. Leadership. What do you see as the role of Tampa City Council, and how do you see your role continuing to evolve if reelected?
If reelected, I really want to continue working what I've been working on the last 16 years. Mayors like Greco, Arroyo, and Buckhorn have all appointed me to a position that's really a mayoral position on the water with Tampa Bay Water. And we're trying to make sure that the city of Tampa will have enough water supply to maintain itself in the next 30, 40 years. And what we're working on now is to have an adequate water supply with our own distribution system, with our own plant, to make sure that we can have this supply, so that without water, you can't have growth. And we have a great water system here, but we have to have more water and more technology to bring it out. On the tertiary treatment plant, that does not have to be expanded. We have about 35 million gallons a day still available, but the water plant has to be expanded, and we have to maintain the water system, not at the plant, but in distribution. We are in need of about 3.2 billion, and I say B with a B, that we need in underlying water lines, underlying wastewater lines, and creating and changing the system in which we produce water.
Okay. We're touching on important policy issues. Is there something that we did not discuss that's a priority of your campaign that you want our viewers to know about?
My campaign is basically who I am is what I am, what I say is what I do, and I say what I do, and that's how I've always been. I don't like to give anybody an indication I'm going to do something, then flip. I very seldom do I slip. If I make an error, I admit it, but I do not shake hands and say something I'm going to do and they change my mind. I've always been straightforward. But in fact, people ask me, how come you don't come to the chamber meetings? And I answer, it's going so well, why should I go screw it up?
Gotcha. Where can voters and viewers go to learn more about your campaign?
There is a website. It's Charlie Miranda Cares 2019 at I'm forgetting the net now. gmail.net.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll make sure that we get that onto our website so viewers can find you. On behalf of our 1,400 members, our board of directors, thanks for joining us, and thank you for your willingness to serve in elected capacity.
Well, thank you very much for your time and your effort, and thank the Chamber for allowing you to do this.